Back outside the workshop, got something a budget tent to show you. It's a military, cheap military style tent made by Kombat UK, MTP colour, only £30 on Amazon at the moment, so they're in the budget range, but I've got it set up outside the workshop, as you can see. Explain a few modifications I've done to it. First off, it comes with the cheap steel type pegs, but I've replaced them with the aluminium ones as normal. I've actually attached them like I normally do with all my tents, with a little bit of bungee loop there. Here they originally come with a little guy lines. I've actually attached that with bungee as well. It's got two guy lines here, that side, that side. See, it pulls it out. Haven't got the right angles here slightly because obviously a bit limited for space. But normally that would actually sort of sit at that level. Doesn't open that end. Single opening this side. I've also added, I used one of the spare guy lines to create this, which is basically the front of the tent is free. It's not actually attached, it doesn't actually attach to the bottom here. So what I did, I sewed in a little tiny bungee loop just here to create a slight tension system there, so bring this out. I think that's a bit of it's a little bit of a mod, but I think that's improved the usage just a little bit. The other mods I did was I've seam sealed every external seam all the way along. As I'm using trekking poles, I'm actually covered that with silicone as well, so that to create a little silicone pad. These are the original poles. These are also very lightweight, so that if you haven't got trekking poles, these are be okay because they're exceptionally light. They are steel, but it's a very, very thin steel. And these set up in the traditional ridge tent way, in the fact that these pegs go up through the tarpaulin hole. In olden days, we used to seal these. What you do, you get a piece of round leather around about that size, for an old belt or something, and then put it over the top. The leather binds tightly around the peg to create a waterproof cover. It doesn't actually come with those, but that's a good, if you are going to use these poles, it's a good idea. It's not really an issue with the trekking poles because the trekking poles don't come up through the holes very much. We're getting a bit of rain coming through now. So I put silicone pads in there. As I said, I've seam sealed every external seam, and I also treated the whole tent with a silicone waterproofer. That's the company that makes it. There's a close up at the side there. It's a very airy tent, you'll find out when we get inside. I've been slept in it for the last 2 nights with no condensation whatsoever. We'll get inside for a closer look. We'll give it a good soaking beforehand. There we go, we're giving it a good soak. And we'll get inside. Got some rain on the camera now. Put my kneeling pad down because my knees are buggered. Oh. Let's get inside and see. Make sure there's no water anywhere. Right, here's the inside. You'll see along both sides, underneath the ridges, mesh. It's a very airy tent. It's completely open on both sides, and also this complete end is open. As I said, outside, this part of the tent doesn't actually seal to the here. It's a loose fit. That's why I fitted this bungee. It's gone a bit loose, but obviously once you've got it pegged out properly, that'll be out there. If I shut that down, that'll be out there. So it creates a very airy tent. Obviously the massive air coming through here. You've got here. I've slept in it for the last 2 nights just to check it out condensation wise, and there's been zero condensation whatsoever. Let's see. The front seals off because the stop mozzies and whatever. I slipped this end, and obviously with your head here, the condensation you get inside tents comes from your own breath, so when it rises and sticks to the tent, so if you sleep this end, you've got really good ventilation here, and then the ventilation coming from the sides. It's one of the airiest tents I've ever been in of this type, a single layer tent. Obviously there's no moisture coming through here at all, nothing whatsoever, even though we put that rain on the outside. You can see the trekking pole there. It's one of the cheaper ones there. I've actually got some carbon fibre ones in order for it, make them lighter, but they work just fine. As I said, you can, this is the poles that come with, the two-part lightweight steel poles. Obviously normally that would sit in the trekking pole. They are perfectly adequate. They're also exceptionally light. They're actually lighter than what my trekking poles are, but I do like to have things that have dual purpose because I normally have the trekking poles anyways, so you might as well use them rather than carrying the poles separately. You might as well use the trekking poles to put this in. But if you don't need trekking poles, these little steel ones are perfectly adequate, and as I said, they are very light. This grey sleeper mat you see here is a standard size sleeper mat, and as you can see, there's plenty of room for 2. It even fits between the trekking poles. It's that much space. It's one of the self-inflating type mats which I tend to use when I'm at home. I wouldn't use this on camp because it's too heavy to carry around, but it's alright if you're like car camping. As you can see, if I lay down here, you've got plenty of room. Loads of space there, loads of space at the bottom of the feet. For one person, this is a cavernous tent. Obviously you've got all this space here to utilise. Plenty of room for 2, massive for 1. There's very little information on the internet about it. Whether it's because it's quite new or people who just haven't brought it, or I don't know. If you're looking for a cheap and fairly lightweight ridge tent that's very airy, then it's an ideal proposition. I can actually kneel up in it. Head's touching obviously, but there is room there. obviously sitting up would be no problem. It's a big old tent. There's another little mod that I did. I fitted a Velcro band there so I could stick it to the pole. A little bit of self-adhesive Velcro. There's another little thing there. We've got 2 pockets, storage pockets either side. There's nowhere to hang a light though, so obviously you'd have to improvise with the trekking poles or whatever, or you know, the other poles, but obviously not really a problem. You've got tie backs for the doors. There's also tie back loops on the other side so you can tie back the external and internal doors. Standard tarpaulin type bottom. Seems to be well stitched in though, and it's also got reinforcing pieces in the corners. Not much more you can say really. I do like the colour. That's one of the benefits of it. I mean, I wish more manufacturers would make their tents in these camo colours. This is the British Army MTP pattern. I wanted a 2-man tent because I've got some grandchildren that want to go try camping. It's also ideal as a fishing shelter. I come across it by accident. It's this side vents that really sort of drew me to it, because I did look at somebody using the French Army tent and it has the same sort of side vents. And I'm pretty sure this is more or less a copy of it, but made of lightweight materials. The French Army tent is made of canvas, so it's quite heavy to carry around. But this is standard tent material, 190T polyester. Most tarps and tents are made of it. You only get the better materials if you pay more money. But for £30, this tent's a bit of a bargain, I think. It's £30 on Amazon at the moment. I'll put a link in the description of the video so you can see. But for what it is, it's ideal. Can't expect too much because obviously it is in the budget end. But with the very slight modifications I've made, it's going to be an ideal little tent. Let me know what you think. Obviously I'll do a bit of a long-term review of this once it's been used a few times. But yeah, it's quite good. Very happy with it. Till next time.